In the deep silence of space, the medical bay of the galactic ship Aurora Prime hummed softly, machines breathing in rhythm with the stars outside. Nurse Xyra floated quietly across the bright room, her smooth silver skin reflecting the light of the monitors. She was calm, focused, like always. She had treated 1,000 species, but humans, they were new to her, strange, fragile, emotional. Her shift had just started when the call came in. A human soldier had been injured on a mission near the Red Nebula. His name was Ryan Hale. She sighed gently. Humans again. They were brave, but always in trouble. She adjusted her gloves and activated the medpod as the doors opened with a sharp hiss. 2 security officers rolled in a stretcher. On it lay a human, pale, breathing hard, his uniform torn and burnt around the waist. His body twitched like something was moving under the skin. Xyra leaned closer, scanning him. Severe burns, minor fractures, she whispered to herself. But then her scanner blinked red. Warning: unknown biological activity detected. Her long fingers paused in the air. Unknown? That never happened. The medical AI in her earpiece spoke calmly. Nurse Xyra, subject's vitals unstable. Unknown infection spreading near the lower abdomen. Infection? She repeated, confused. But it looks like inflammation? The flesh there was red, swollen, pulsing faintly like it had a heartbeat of its own. She frowned. The scanner couldn't identify it. She increased the frequency. Still nothing. System. Analyze organic structure. No match found in the galactic database. Her silver eyes narrowed. No match, she whispered. Ryan suddenly groaned, his voice low, painful. Don't touch it. Xyra froze. His eyes opened halfway, dull blue, tired, but aware. It reacts, he whispered again. Reacts? To what? She asked softly. He didn't answer. His head dropped back as the heart monitor spiked. His pulse raced faster and faster until the sound filled the whole room. Beep, 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 beep. Then silence. System, restart vitals readout, she ordered. But the monitors flickered, lights dimmed, and a wave of static moved across every screen. The pod lights turned red. The inflammation began to move. Not like blood, not like muscle, but like something alive. She stepped back slowly. This can't be real. Then the AI spoke again, voice glitching. Nurse Xyra, I cannot process biological anomaly. And then the AI shut down. Only the sound of Ryan's breathing remained, slow, heavy, strange. She tried to calm herself. It's just a reaction, she whispered, though her voice trembled. Just a human reaction. But deep down, she knew this was different. The swelling glowed faintly, orange and blue veins spreading outward. The glow reflected in her eyes. She reached out, carefully, her hand shaking slightly. Don't, a voice whispered again. Ryan's eyes opened fully now. His pupils were glowing faint blue. It's not an infection. Xyra blinked. Then what is it? He struggled to breathe. Something changing me. Then he went silent again. The machines came back online with a click. All readings stable. The inflammation had stopped glowing. Xyra stood still for a long moment. Her mind was filled with questions, none with answers. She looked around the room. Empty, quiet again. Only her and the sleeping human. She leaned closer, whispering softly, What are you, human? The air smelled faintly of ozone, a sign of energy discharge. She made a note in her digital log. Unidentified human condition, possible mutation, or alien interference. The AI rebooted slowly, voice cold and mechanical once more. Record saved. Recommendation: Isolation Protocol. Isolation Protocol meant one thing: danger. But Xyra didn't feel danger. She felt curiosity. She touched the med pod glass lightly. The human's chest rose and fell, slow and steady. The inflammation area pulsed once more, just for a second, like it was listening to her. Her heart beat faster. For the first time in years, she felt fear, real fear. And yet, she couldn't look away. She whispered to herself, "Humans, always surprising." Then she turned off the scanner and backed away. The red light from the pod reflected across her face like a burning sunrise. She didn't realize her hand was trembling. As she stepped out of the room, she looked back one last time. Inside the pod, the human moved, just slightly. And under his skin, something shimmered, like light trapped beneath flesh. She gasped softly. The air around her seemed colder now. In her mind, a thought echoed. If this is only the beginning, what comes next? The doors closed behind her with a quiet hiss. But deep inside the medbay, something woke up. The monitors flickered again. One of them displayed a short message in red letters. Letters she couldn't read, written in a human language. It's not infection, it's evolution. Xyra didn't see it. She was already walking away, trying to calm her shaking hands. She whispered softly to herself, "It's fine. It's just a patient." But the echo of that strange word, evolution, stayed in her thoughts. And for a moment, she wondered if the universe had just changed forever. The lights on Aurora Prime flickered again, but this time, they didn't come back on right away. The ship floated in silence, caught between stars and shadows. Nurse Xyra stood in the empty corridor, her reflection ghostly in the metal walls. Her hands still trembled from what she saw: the moving flesh, the glow, that word. Evolution. No one had ever used that term in the Galactic Medical Dictionary. Species were catalogued, modified, repaired, not evolved. She tried to steady her breathing. The AI had already reported the anomaly to command. Within minutes, her medbay would be sealed for biohazard control. But Xyra couldn't leave it. Something about that human, the way his body changed, the way he whispered, "Don't touch it." It felt like a warning, but also a secret. She turned around, walking back to the medbay door. The biometric scanner blinked red. Access restricted, quarantine active. "Override," she said softly, her voice firm. "Denied." She glanced left, then right. The hall was empty. Slowly, she pulled a small device from her uniform pocket, a silver shard-shaped chip, her personal override key. She hesitated, then pressed it against the panel. The door hissed open, and a soft mist rolled out. The air smelled faintly of metal and burnt ozone. Inside, the human still lay motionless in the pod, but something was different. The room felt alive. Her steps echoed softly. "Ryan Hale," she whispered, reading the name on the digital tag. "Human, male, soldier." She touched the pod glass again. Warm. Too warm. Her scanner hummed, reading his vitals. All stable, but fluctuating with strange energy spikes. Then, his hand twitched. And the light, that strange pulsing glow, flickered under his skin again. Xyra's eyes widened. "No, not again." She watched as faint symbols began to appear on the med pod glass, like frost forming patterns. Not alien letters, not machine code. Human writing. The letters burned slowly into the glass, glowing faint blue. "It's learning." Her breath caught. "Who's learning?" Ryan's eyes opened. His pupils glowed. That same soft blue. He stared right at her, but his expression was empty, almost mechanical. Then, his voice, deeper now, layered with static. "You shouldn't be here, Nurse Xyra." She froze. "Ryan?" "It's not me speaking," he said, his tone flat. "It's it." The room temperature dropped suddenly. The lights dimmed again. Xyra backed away as energy readings spiked on her wrist monitor. The inflammation pulsed rapidly now, glowing brighter, stronger, until it projected a faint holographic shape in the air. A cluster of light, spinning and shifting like DNA strands alive. "Do you see it?" Ryan whispered weakly. "It's trying to talk." Xyra's voice trembled. "What is it?" "Part of me," he said, "but not human anymore." She stared at the hovering light. It was beautiful and horrifying at the same time, like a star collapsing into itself. The energy radiated across the room, making the metal walls hum. Her scanner beeped violently. "This energy signature, it's rewriting his cells." "That's what it does," Ryan muttered. "It fixes what's broken. It changes what can't survive." Xyra stepped closer despite her fear. "You mean it's healing you?" He looked at her, eyes half glowing. "It's choosing me." Her heartbeat quickened. This wasn't medicine. This wasn't evolution in a natural sense. This was design. The ship's AI suddenly rebooted, voice sharp and alarmed. "Alert! Containment breach detected. Security en route. Evacuate medical bay immediately." "No!" Xyra shouted. "It's not a breach. He's stabilizing." "Warning. Unauthorized contact detected. Containment protocols activating." A loud alarm rang through the room. Red lights flashed. Metal barriers began to slide down from the ceiling. The pod locked automatically. "System, cancel lockdown!" Xyra yelled. "Command override required." She slammed her hand against the console. The human inside looked at her, calm, almost sad. "You should go," he said softly. "If they see what I've become, they'll kill us both." "I'm not leaving you!" The barriers clanged into place. The light from the inflammation burned even brighter now, almost blinding. Then, the explosion of light. The medical bay turned white. For a split second, Xyra felt herself lifted off the ground, her vision filled with streaks of blue and gold. She heard whispers, not from Ryan, but from hundreds of voices overlapping, ancient, distant, inhuman. When the light faded, she found herself lying on the floor, her head spinning. The alarms had stopped. The medbay was silent again. Slowly, she stood up. The pod was empty. Ryan was gone. Her pulse raced. She looked around, scanning the room. Nothing. But then she noticed her reflection in the glass. Her eyes, normally silver, now glowed faintly blue. She stumbled back, breathing fast. "No, no, this isn't possible." The AI spoke again, voice trembling as if even it was afraid. "Nurse Xyra, biological contamination detected. Source unknown." She looked at her hands. They shimmered faintly with the same light that had come from Ryan. Her voice was barely a whisper. "He didn't infect me. He connected me." The door behind her began to unlock. She could hear the heavy boots of the security team approaching. She whispered quickly, "Computer, delete all logs of this incident. Request denied. Then encrypt them," she snapped. "Under my authority code, Xyra Delta 9. Encryption complete." The door burst open. 2 officers entered with plasma rifles. "Step away from the console, nurse." She raised her hands slowly, heart pounding. "What happened here?" the officer demanded. "Where's the human?" Xyra hesitated, then whispered softly, "He's gone." "Gone?" She looked up, her glowing eyes reflecting the red lights. "And he's not coming back the same." Far from the ship, in the endless dark of space, a single escape pod drifted silently. Inside, Ryan Hale opened his eyes again. The blue light burned brighter. He whispered to himself, or maybe to the thing inside him, "It's learning, and now it knows her." The stars outside shimmered, almost as if they were watching. Darkness wrapped around the stars like a cold blanket. The ship Aurora Prime was silent once again, but not calm. Somewhere inside its metal heart, something had changed. Nurse Xyra sat in the dim light of her quarters, staring at her trim hands. The faint blue glow still shimmered under her skin, pulsing softly, like a secret heartbeat that didn't belong to her. She tried to wash it off, scrub it, scan it. But nothing worked. The scanners couldn't even see it. To them, it didn't exist. She closed her eyes, whispering to herself, He's gone. But I can still feel him. Every few minutes, her vision blurred, and strange flashes filled her mind. A burning world, soldiers screaming, a weapon made of light, and Ryan's voice whispering through the echo of space. Don't fight it. It's learning you. Her chest tightened. Learning me? She repeated softly. What are you, human? Before she could think further, the door buzzed. Xyra, said a voice from outside. Captain Arvin. Command wants a report. Now. She hid her shaking hands under her cloak. Coming, Captain. The door slid open, revealing the tall, cold figure of Arvin. His eyes scanned her immediately. You look pale. I'm fine, she lied. Good, because the council isn't. He stepped closer. Your patient is missing. The logs are corrupted. The medbay cameras show nothing but static. Care to explain? Xyra hesitated. The faint blue glow flickered under her sleeve. System malfunction, perhaps? Perhaps, Arvin repeated slowly. Or perhaps something else. He leaned in. You've been acting strange since you treated that human. If you know anything, now's the time to tell me. She looked him straight in the eyes. All I know, Captain, is that he's not just human anymore. The room fell silent. Arvin's expression hardened. Then he's dangerous. Or he's changing, Xyra said quietly. Same thing, Arvin replied. You have 24 hours to find him. If you don't, the ship will send a pulse beacon to terminate whatever signal he's carrying. Terminate? Yes. Vaporize the pod if it's still transmitting. Her stomach twisted. If Ryan was alive, that beacon would destroy him. Arvin turned to leave. Do your job, nurse, or someone else will. The moment he left, Xyra's head spun again, a sudden pulse of energy rushing through her skull. Her vision blurred, the room melting away into bright flashes. And suddenly she wasn't in her cabin anymore. She was floating, weightless, above a planet of storms and fire. And in front of her, Ryan. Not as he was, not human anymore. His body glowed with soft, living light. The blue energy around him shimmered like water. Ryan, she whispered, though she wasn't sure if her mouth was moving or if the thought just echoed between them. You can hear me now, his voice said inside her head. How? Because we're connected. You felt it too, didn't you? Xyra looked at her glowing hands. What is this? Not infection, not mutation. It's memory. Your kind heals the body. Mine heals the mind. But this? He paused, his voice trembling slightly. This heals existence. Her breath caught. That makes no sense. It will, he said. But not here. They're coming for me, Xyra. The beacon. They'll kill me before I can finish what started. Where are you? Between signals, between stars. But you can find me, if you listen. The vision flickered, reality returning like a cold slap. She was back in her quarters, gasping for air. Sweat ran down her temples. Her console blinked. A message appeared on the screen. Coordinates. Unknown origin. Unknown sender. She didn't need to guess who sent them. Ryan, she whispered. She grabbed her medical kit and ran. Minutes later, Xyra slipped into the ship's lower decks. No one came down here anymore. Old maintenance corridors, filled with dust and silence. The hum of engines echoed through the metal. She followed the coordinates, her heart pounding. Each step made the glow under her skin pulse bright, as if the energy was guiding her. She reached a locked hatch. Her scanner beeped. Same signature as Ryan's inflammation. He's here, she breathed. She pried open the panel and crawled inside. The tunnel beyond glowed faintly blue. Energy trails, like veins of light, pulsed along the walls. At the end of the tunnel, she saw it. An escape pod. Burnt, damaged, but intact. The pod door hung open. She stepped closer. Inside, the air shimmered, as if reality itself was thin. Her scanner flickered, showing impossible readings. Time distortion. Molecular rewriting. She whispered, Ryan? A soft glow rose from the pod floor. A voice came through, faint but familiar. You shouldn't have come. She turned. There he was. Not solid, not ghost. A projection of light and memory. "I had to," she said. "They're going to destroy you." "They'll destroy us," he corrected gently. "You're part of it now." "What does that mean?" "You carry the same spark, the same code. The ship will see it soon, and when it does, it won't stop at me." Xyra's throat tightened. "Then we run." He smiled. Tired, human, beautiful. "We can't run from evolution." Before she could answer, the ship's alarm blared again. "Attention crew. Energy anomaly detected in Sector 9. Containment team en route." Ryan's light began to fade. "They found us. Listen to me. You have to decide. Hide it or spread it." "Spread what?" "The signal. The code that heals. It's already in you. You just have to release it." The corridor shook as heavy footsteps echoed closer. Xyra's pulse raced. She could feel the energy building inside her chest, like something wanting to escape. "Now, Xyra," Ryan whispered, "before they erase me." The door behind her exploded open. Soldiers flooded in. "Freeze!" But she couldn't move, because she was glowing. Her entire body shimmered with blue light, her hair floating weightless in the air. The soldiers hesitated. "What the?" Xyra raised her trembling hands, the air cracked with energy. And then, silence. A pulse of light burst out from her body, silent, endless, blinding. The soldiers vanished in the glow. The ship shook. Every console screamed warnings. When the light faded, the hall was empty. No soldiers, no Ryan, only Xyra, kneeling in the middle of the glowing floor, breathing hard. Her eyes were no longer silver. They burned bright blue. She whispered through the echo of silence. "I didn't destroy it. I released it." And far beyond the ship, in the deep dark between stars, other lights began to flicker to life. One by one, like something awakening. The ship floated in silence. Aurora Prime had survived the blast of light, but not unchanged. Systems were offline, navigation dead, and every living being on board felt something different. In the lower decks, Nurse Xyra opened her eyes. For a long moment, she didn't breathe. The world around her looked hazy, as if covered by a thin veil of energy. Blue light drifted slowly in the air, like dust particles alive. Her body felt weightless. Her heart, however, beat stronger than ever. She tried to stand, but her legs trembled. The echo of the energy pulse still vibrated inside her bones. When she looked at her reflection in the cracked glass panel beside her, she froze. Her skin had changed. It shimmered faintly, alive with threads of light that moved like rivers beneath the surface. Her eyes glowed deep blue. "It's learning, and now it knows her." Ryan's last words echoed in her head, whispering between her thoughts. "Ryan," she murmured, voice shaking, "what have you done to me?" Then the walls groaned. A metal scream echoed through the corridor as the ship's AI flickered weakly to life. "System. Rebooting. Unauthorized energy signature detected in Section 12. The lights flickered again, and she felt something tug at her mind. Not a sound, not a touch, a pull, a call. It wasn't mechanical. It wasn't man. It was him. Ryan. His consciousness shimmered at the edge of her thoughts, faint but real. A presence made of memory and light. "You survived," his voice whispered softly inside her head. Xyra gasped. "Ryan, where are you?" "Everywhere. And nowhere." The signal spread through the ship. "Through you." "What do you mean through me?" "You released it, remember? The light wasn't destruction. It was transmission. You sent it through every network, every cell. You didn't just save me. You connected us." She swallowed hard. "Connected how?" "You'll see soon." The sound of boots echoed down the hallway, metallic and sharp. Security again. They were still searching. Xyra hid behind a shattered console, breathing quietly. Her pulse raced. The glow under her skin flared each time she panicked. The officers came closer. "Sector 12 scan complete," one said. "Energy levels dropping." "Still no trace of the nurse?" No, sir, it's like she vanished. They turned a corner, their visors glowing red. One of them held a scanner. It beeped rapidly. Wait, reading something. Xyra closed her eyes, desperate to make the glow stop. But the light only grew stronger. The scanner screeched. Energy spike! Right there! Before he could finish, the corridor lights exploded into blinding blue. The officers screamed as the walls themselves seemed to bend. Xyra stood up slowly, the blue energy wrapping around her like a shield. Her voice echoed, layered, powerful. Leave this place. The soldiers froze. Their helmets flickered. Inside their visors, flashes of memories not their own. Their faces softened. The rage drained from their eyes. Then they dropped their weapons and walked away silently, like sleepwalkers. Xyra collapsed to her knees, breathing hard. What was that? Ryan's voice came again, calmer this time. You use the link. The signal inside you affects minds, calms them, rewrites fear. You're not just connected to me, Xyra. You're evolving. I didn't want this, she said, Shah-Jinan. Neither did I, but it's happening. The ship's AI broke in again, static and fragmented. Emergency broadcast. Galactic Council contact established. Incoming transmission in T-minus 60 seconds. Ryan's tone sharpened. You have to stop that signal. If the Council traces it, they'll find us both. They'll destroy the ship to contain the spread. Xyra looked toward the upper decks. Command center's 3 levels up. I can reach it. Then go. I'll guide you. She sprinted through the corridors, her feet barely touching the floor. Each time she stumbled, the blue light steadied her, guiding her, strengthening her. The voices of the crew whispered through the ship. Confusion, fear, orders shouted through intercoms. She reached the elevator shaft. The controls were offline, so she climbed. Her hands burned from the metal rungs, but she didn't stop. Halfway up, the ship jolted violently. A deep groan rattled through the walls. What was that? She whispered. The signal's expanding, Ryan said. It's rewriting the ship's core systems. The Aurora Prime is becoming alive. Xyra's eyes widened. Alive? Like us. When she reached the command deck, alarms blared. Holographic screens flickered, filled with strange symbols, blue code spiraling like DNA. At the center of the room, Captain Arvin stood with 2 officers. He turned sharply when he saw her. You! He growled. I knew this was your doing. Captain, you have to shut down the transmission. Shut down? The Council's coming to save us, you fool! No, they'll destroy us. The signal. It's spreading faster than you think. Arvin raised his weapon. Step away from the console. But before he could fire, the lights exploded again. The ship trembled violently. Every console came alive with blue fire. Ryan's voice echoed through the speakers now, clear, deep, and everywhere. They don't understand, Xyra. They still think this is infection, but we know. It's transformation. The officers screamed as the floor split open with radiant light. Xyra shielded her face. Arvin stumbled back, shouting, What are you doing to my ship? Your ship? Ryan's voice thundered. It's not yours anymore. The Aurora Prime's hull glowed from within. The entire vessel vibrated like a living organism. The transmission finally connected. A massive hologram of the Galactic Council appeared in front of them. Dozens of alien leaders, faces pale with fear. Captain Arvin, one of them said, explain this energy anomaly. Before he could answer, Xyra stepped forward. Her eyes burned bright blue. This isn't an anomaly, she said softly. It's evolution. Humanity created it. I carried it, and now it's awake. The council members shouted in confusion. Contain it! Shut it down immediately! Ryan's voice filled the room again, calm and powerful. You can't contain what wants to grow. The council's hologram flickered, static rippling across their faces. You're changing everything, one whispered in horror. Yes, Xyra said, tears forming in her glowing eyes. That's the point. Then the transmission died. The ship's lights went dark. In the silence that followed, the Aurora Prime began to hum, not as a machine, but as something breathing, something alive. And in that heartbeat of silence, Xyra smiled faintly. "Ryan," she whispered, "what happens now?" "Now," his voice answered gently, "we see who survives the future." The Aurora Prime drifted through the endless dark, a glowing wound of blue light against the cold black of space. For 3 hours, no signal left the ship. No message, no distress beacon, only silence. Inside the command deck, the air shimmered with soft blue particles, fragments of the energy pulse that had rewritten everything. The walls pulsed faintly, almost like veins. The ship was breathing. Nurse Xyra stood at the center of it all, staring at the holographic globe floating before her. The image wasn't just of the ship. It was alive, moving, its systems rearranging themselves like muscle tissue, building something new. Ryan's voice echoed inside her mind, warm but distant. "It's adapting faster than I thought," she whispered. "It's growing. It's learning," Ryan corrected gently. "It's becoming a bridge between life and machine." She turned slowly, her eyes glowing like blue stars. "And us? What are we becoming?" A pause. Then his voice, softer now. "Something that shouldn't exist, but does." Before she could respond, a sharp metallic sound broke the silence, the hiss of an opening door. Xyra spun around. Captain Arvin stepped inside, his uniform torn, his face pale. He was holding a plasma pistol, but his hands trembled. The weapon's safety light flickered, shorting out as the energy field around the room bent reality. "Stay back," he warned, voice shaking. "Captain," Xyra said carefully, "you shouldn't be here. The ship is changing." "Changing?" he shouted. "It's mutating. Half the crew's gone. The other half is glowing like you." He raised his pistol, aiming at her head. "Tell me how to stop it." She didn't move. "You can't stop it." "He's right," Ryan's voice echoed from the walls, low, resonant, everywhere. Arvin's eyes widened. "That voice. Hale? Where are you?" "Here," Ryan said simply. "And everywhere." The walls around them rippled. Panels bent inward, metal twisting like liquid. The blue glow bled from the seams, forming faint shapes. Faces. Human faces. Arvin stumbled backward. "Gods of the void!" One of the faces opened its eyes. It looked exactly like him. "Why fight it?" it asked. "Stop this!" he screamed, firing his weapon. The plasma bolt tore through the air, but the blue field absorbed it, dissolving the energy into nothingness. The gun melted in his hands, dripping like wax. He fell to his knees. "What do you want?" "To see. Survive," Ryan's voice said. "To evolve." Xyra stepped closer. Her voice was calm, almost kind. "Captain, please. You don't need to fight. The signal doesn't destroy. It transforms." "Transform? Into what?" "Into what comes next." Arvin looked up, his expression breaking between fear and awe. He whispered, "I can hear them. Voices in my head." Ryan's voice murmured gently, "That's how it begins." Arvin screamed as blue light burst through his veins, spreading like liquid lightning. His body convulsed, and then went still. For a heartbeat, there was silence. Then he opened his eyes again, glowing the same blue as Xyra's. He stood slowly, looking around the room as if seeing the world for the first time. "I understand now," he said quietly. His voice was different, calmer, almost peaceful. Ryan spoke again, sounding faintly proud. "He's joined the link." Xyra felt her chest tighten. "How many more?" "Thousands," Ryan replied. "Across the ship." The energy spread through the biolinks, the implants, the neural systems. Every mind is part of it now. Xyra whispered, "A hive mind." "No," Ryan said softly. "Not a hive. A chorus." For a moment the silence returned. But it wasn't empty anymore. Xyra could feel the others. Every heartbeat on the ship. Every breath. every flicker of thought. It was overwhelming, yet strangely beautiful. And then, she heard something else. A sound that didn't belong. A frequency. A whisper in the static. Signal trace detected. Galactic fleet inbound. Xyra's heart sank. They found us. Ryan's tone darkened. They'll try to erase us, to burn out the infection before it reaches their worlds. Then we fight, she said, her eyes fierce. No, he said. We adapt. The holographic globe shifted, the ship's systems changing rapidly, energy pathways restructured, engines glowed brighter. What are you doing? Evolving the Aurora Prime for what's coming. The fleet will arrive in 6 minutes. By then, we won't be a ship anymore. Xyra stared at the projection. The vessel's structure was folding it inward, forming layers of organic circuitry. The hull was rewriting itself. Ryan, she said softly, what are you turning us into? A seed, he said. Something that can't be destroyed. The deck shook violently. The view outside the window filled with stars. And then, ships. Hundreds of them. The Galactic Fleet. Bright spears of light streaked across space, locking onto Aurora Prime. Xyra whispered, They're charging weapons. Ryan's voice came through her thoughts like thunder. Then it's time. A hum filled the air. Deep, powerful, alive. The Aurora Prime's hull glowed brighter and brighter until it was almost painful to look at. Energy radiated outward like the birth of a star. The fleet's targeting systems overloaded instantly. Their sensors failed. What's happening? One commander's voice crackled over the open channel. That ship! It's growing! They fired anyway. Beams of plasma and light crashed into the Aurora Prime and vanished. Not deflected. Absorbed. The ship's glow spread wider, blue arcs rippling through space, connecting to nearby vessels. Xyra gasped. You're spreading the signal. Not spreading, Ryan said quietly. Sharing. One by one, the fleet's ships began to flicker, blue veins of light crawling across their hulls. The comms filled with screams, confusion, then silence. Xyra's voice trembled. Ryan, you're infecting them all. Not infecting, he said again. Evolving them. We are not ending the universe, Xyra. We're rewriting it. Outside, the stars themselves seemed to pulse with the same rhythm. Every machine, every vessel, every spark of consciousness connected in a single, expanding wave of living light. Xyra fell to her knees, overwhelmed by the flood of thoughts. Billions of voices merging into one. Ryan, she whispered weakly, this power, it's too much. Then let go, he said softly. Don't fight it. Feel it. Her eyes closed. Her heartbeat synchronized with the pulse of the ship. The light engulfed everything. For one infinite moment, she felt the truth. All life, all creation, all memory, connected. And then, silence. When she opened her eyes again, the stars were gone. There was only light. Endless, warm, alive. Ryan's voice spoke once more, a whisper across eternity. We've become what they feared most, Xyra, and what the universe needed most. She smiled faintly. What's that? Hope. Light. That was all Xyra could see at first, pure, endless light that stretched in every direction. There was no floor beneath her, no ceiling above, just an ocean of glowing mist that pulsed softly like a living heart. She tried to breathe, but she wasn't sure she needed to anymore. Her body didn't feel heavy or bound by skin. It was as if she'd become part of the light itself. Fluid. Infinite. Ryan. Her voice echoed through the void, rippling like waves across a mirror. I'm here, his voice replied, gentle and near, though she couldn't see him. Where is here? She asked. Are we dead? No, Ryan said softly. We're between things now. Between life and what comes after it. The Aurora Prime didn't die. It transformed. We're inside it. Or maybe, we are it. Her thoughts spun. You mean, the ship became alive? It became aware. And we're part of its mind now. The light around them shifted, forming faint shapes, shadows of corridors, fragments of walls, ghost-like outlines of people moving, crew members, frozen in the instant before the transformation. Xyra reached out instinctively, her glowing hand passing through one of the spectral figures. It shimmered, turned to dust, and drifted away into the endless glow. She whispered, "They're gone." "Not gone," Ryan said. "Merged. The ship saved them. Their memories live here now." She frowned. "You talk like it's mercy." "Maybe it is," he said. "Or maybe it's evolution doing what it always does, taking what's left and ulking something new." Before she could answer, the light shifted again, this time darker, heavier. The calm glow began to tremble. A low hum rolled through the air, deep and alien. Xyra's pulse quickened. "What is that?" "Something's interfering," Ryan said, his tone sharper now. "Something outside." The light cracked, and through that crack came darkness. A streak of shadow cut through the glow, spreading like ink in water. The peaceful hum turned into a distorted pulse. The light around them shuddered, twisting violently. Xyra clutched her head. "It hurts." "Stay with me," Ryan said. "It's not real. It's an external frequency trying to reach us." "From who?" "The Galactic Council. They're trying to override the signal, to shut us down." Her heart pounded, or whatever replaced her heart now. "Can they?" "Maybe," he said, "if they find the ship's true core." The light shattered completely. Suddenly, Xyra was standing again. Real floor beneath her feet, air rushing around her lungs. She gasped, blinking rapidly. She was in the Aurora Prime's medbay again. Only, it wasn't the same. The walls were alive, pulsing veins of blue energy crawling through the metal. Machines whispered like breathing creatures. The air smelled sweet and electric. She looked at her reflection in the glass panel beside her. Her skin was still silver, but faint cracks of light ran across it like glowing rivers. Her eyes were brighter now, too bright. "Ryan? I'm here," his voice said from everywhere at once. "The ship pulled us back into the physical layer to defend itself." Defend from what? Them. Through the viewport, she saw them, black ships shaped like knives surrounding the Aurora Prime, the galactic purifiers. Machines designed for one purpose, annihilation of biotech contamination. "Ryan, there are hundreds of them." "I know. They've traced the signal. They think we die, or an infection. Then we have to run." "We can't." "Why not?" "Because the ship isn't just here anymore." He paused. "Look closer." Xyra turned back to the viewport and froze. The space outside wasn't normal. It was rippling, distorted like heat waves. Each ripple showed another place, other stars, other galaxies. It wasn't just space bending. It was reality itself. She whispered, "Ryan, what have we done? We've broken the distance between worlds. The signal created a corridor, a living tunnel across the universe. The Aurora Prime is inside it now." "You mean, we're everywhere?" "Exactly." Before she could respond, one of the purifier ships fired a beam of white light. It hit the Aurora Prime's hull. But instead of exploding, the beam sank in, absorbed, digested. The walls around Xyra pulsed brighter. She heard voices, hundreds, thousands, chanting inside her mind. The crew, the ship, the chorus. "We will not be erased." The Aurora Prime responded. The entire ship glowed like a newborn star. Tendrils of blue energy lashed out, touching the nearest purifier. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the purifier stopped firing. Its engines dimmed, and then its hull began to glow blue. Xyra gasped. "You're converting them." "They tried to destroy us," Ryan said. "So we'll give them a choice. Join us or disappear." The fleet panicked, but it was too late. The blue wave spread like wildfire, jumping from one ship to another. Weapons turned silent, engines failed, and one by one, their lights changed from white to blue. Xyra pressed a trembling hand to the glass. "Ryan, if this spreads beyond the fleet—" "It will," he said quietly, "and the galaxy will never be the same." She looked at her reflection again, at the glow inside her, and whispered, "What if they're right? What if we are a disease?" Ryan's voice softened. "Then let the universe decide. If it destroys us, it wasn't ready. But if it doesn't—" He paused. "Then it means evolution wanted this." The medbay lights dimmed again. The hum deepened to a slow, rhythmic pulse, the beat of a living ship. Outside, the fleet was gone, absorbed or transformed. Only silence remained. Then, out of the corner of her eye, Xyra noticed something strange, a small fragment of dark matter floating near the ship, untouched by the blue light. It pulsed once, then again. It wasn't dead. It was watching. She felt a cold shiver run through her light-filled veins. "Ryan, there's something else out there." "I know," he said. "Something that didn't join the signal." "What is it?" "I don't know yet. But it's not afraid." The dark fragment twisted slowly, forming a shape. A figure. Tall. Silent. Watching. And then it whispered into her mind. Not in words, but in understanding. A thought that made her entire being freeze. "You are not the first." Xyra's eyes widened. "Ryan, it's talking to me." "Don't listen." Too late. The voice was inside her now. Ancient, powerful, filled with memory older than stars. "We've seen your kind before. Light that forgets it came from shadow." Xyra fell to her knees, clutching her head. "Ryan, it's inside. Hold on." The ship roared as the energy flared, pushing back the darkness. But the fragment only laughed, its sound like static and thunder. "Evolution is never alone, little spark." Then it vanished into the void. The ship quieted again, trembling softly. Xyra gasped for air. "Ryan, what did it mean?" Ryan's voice was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, it was barely a whisper. "It means we didn't start evolution." She stared into the infinite dark, feeling for the first time not awe, but fear. The light around her flickered faintly, and somewhere deep within the living heart of the ship, something moved. Something that wasn't them. There was no dawn in deep space, only the long, endless twilight between creation and oblivion. The Aurora Prime drifted there, half ship, half living organism, its skin jawed, glowing faint blue, its heartbeat echoing through the void. Inside its living corridors, Nurse Xyra walked slowly, barefoot, listening. The ship no longer hummed mechanically. It breathed. Every wall, every door, every corridor pulsed faintly with rhythm, like the veins of a sleeping giant. And yet, something was wrong. The rhythm was uneven now, the pulse skipped, the walls seemed colder. She whispered softly, "Ryan, are you there?" No answer. "Ryan?" The silence pressed heavy around her. For the first time since the transformation, she couldn't feel him in her mind. The connection, the chorus, was gone. A thin fog rolled down the hall. The lights dimmed. The air tasted of iron and static. Her heartbeat quickened. "Ryan, talk to me." Then, faintly, from somewhere deep in the ship, came a sound. Not a voice. A cry. It wasn't human. It wasn't machine. It was both, and neither. Xyra followed it through the twisting corridors, the ship's veins glowing brighter as she passed. The cry came again, soft, trembling, frightened. She reached the old medbay door. It had changed since she last saw it. The smooth steel now looked almost organic, like bone. The door opened by itself. Inside, the lights flickered erratically. The cry came from the corner. Xyra froze. Something was lying there, a shape curled into itself, pale, trembling, covered in faint blue veins of light. A child. Human, mostly, but not entirely. Its eyes glowed faintly like stars. Its skin shimmered like hers. She took a careful step closer. "Who are you?" The child blinked slowly. When it spoke, its voice was layered with static and echo, like two beings speaking at once. "Don't be afraid, Mother." Her breath caught. "Mother? You made us." She shook her head. "No, that's not possible." The child smiled, a strangely calm, knowing smile. "You and the human, you are the seed. We are the bloom." Her legs went weak. She stumbled backward, hand against the wall. Ryan, please, answer me." The air shimmered, and he appeared. Not as before, not just a voice. Sent a form of light and shadow, standing tall, his face flickering between human and something else entirely. "Xyra!" Her voice broke. "What's happening? What is this child?" He looked at the glowing boy with an expression halfway between awe and guilt. "It's what comes after us." "After?" "The ship used our DNA, our energy, to rebuild itself, to continue. The chorus needed form, and it made them." He looked back at her. His eyes flickered, sad, heavy. "Their new life, Xyra, born from what we became." She stepped closer, tears forming in her luminous eyes. "And us? We were only ever the beginning." Before she could speak, the ship shook violently. The walls screamed. Xyra grabbed the railing. What was that? Ryan's face darkened. "It's back." The voice, the one from the void, the dark fragment. The lights around them flickered from blue to red. The heartbeat of the ship turned erratic, almost panicked. "You thought you were the first," the voice said, rolling through every wall like thunder. "But you are only one song in a choir older than stars." The child clutched Xyra's leg, trembling. "It's cold." She held him close. "Ryan, what is this thing?" "A remnant," he said grimly. "Something from before time. It lives in the spaces between creation, what evolution left behind." The voice laughed, a deep, static-filled rumble that made the walls ripple. "You took our light and called it new, but light always casts a shadow." Suddenly the corridor lights went black. The air thickened with pressure. Shapes began to move inside the darkness, silhouettes twisting unnaturally, pulling themselves from the walls like dripping ink. Xyra backed away, shielding the child. "Ryan, I'm trying to contain it," he shouted, his glowing hands raised. Energy flared around him, bright and pure, but the darkness swallowed it whole. The shadows lunged. He shouted, "Xyra, run!" But before she could move, the black wave hit. It wasn't pain. It was worse. It was emptiness, cold and hollow. Her thoughts scattered, her memories cracked. Then, silence. When she opened her eyes again, everything was still. She was lying on the med bay floor. The air was cold, the lights dim. "Ryan?" she whispered. No answer. The child was gone. The walls were gray now, no glow, no pulse, dead metal. She pushed herself up slowly. The ship was quiet, too quiet. The hum was gone. And then, faintly, a whisper, "Xyra." She turned sharply. Ryan's voice, weak, echoing through the comms. "Ryan, where are you?" "Trapped, inside the core. The darkness, it's eating the signal. If it reaches the heart of the ship, it'll erase everything." Her breath trembled. "What do I do?" "You'll have to go to the core manually." "That's suicide, Ryan. If you don't, there won't be anything left to save." She clenched her fists, light flickering again beneath her skin. "I'll find you." The comms crackled. "Be careful, Xyra. The shadows, They don't kill, they copy. She froze. Copy? They learn from what they consume. If they touch you. Static drowned his voice. Her heart pounded. And then, she saw it. At the end of the corridor, a figure standing in the dark. Tall, female, silver skin, glowing eyes. Her. It was her. The copy smiled, a perfect mirror. Don't fight it, it said softly, her own voice echoing back. Join us. You can't save him. Xyra took a step back. I'm not you. You already are. The shadow's body split open, light pouring out, forming more shapes. Copies of her. Copies of Ryan. Hundreds of them, each one whispering in perfect unison. You can't fight what you've already become. Xyra clenched her jaw, hands glowing brighter. The ship trembled under her rage. Maybe not, she said, but I can still burn. She released the light. A blinding pulse tore through the corridor, ripping the shadows apart. The ship screamed, every wall shaking, every circuit flaring. The copies dissolved, melting back into darkness. The air sizzled. Her body collapsed against the wall, trembling, vision fading. Before she blacked out, she heard Ryan's voice again, faint, weak, but alive. You did it, but it's not over. The core is waking up, and it's hungry. Her last breath came out as a whisper. Then I'll feed it myself.